Since the release of Apple Log years ago, I've been frustrated by the workflow to easily color grade those clips that we shoot on our iPhones. There is no shortage of photo and video editing apps in the App Store, but so many of them have just filters and overlays, not a solid solution for proper LUT conversions. But apparently there have been some apps that have flown completely under the radar, but in this video I want to talk about two of them that I think offer the best solution for the problem. Alright, so let's dive right into the first one here, and this one is actually 100% totally free, no in-app purchases, nothing. It seems like it's one of the developers' first apps, and I actually found this app through another video from my friend from 𝗦𝗦𝗙𝗖𝗐. I'm going to leave his channel and video linked in the description. Definitely check him out because he's got a video that offers even more apps different to the ones in this video. So this app is called PeekLUT. And when looking at when it was actually released was about a year ago. So the fact that I haven't stumbled upon these makes me very sad. But within that time, he's added quite a bit of features, so I'm happy to have the version that we do. Now, I'll just say right now too, while the second app does have a charge to it, it is not a predatory amount of money, and it has one feature that this app doesn't have that I think is incredibly useful, so stick around for that. But when we open up PeekLUT here, we are greeted with a very simple interface. We can see different LUTs here at the bottom. Now, importing LUTs is incredibly easy. I just tap those three little dots and I can import it from photos, from files, and you can actually go in and easily see the gallery. There's a bunch of creative ones already in here, but of course, the ones you import are going to be at the top under user LUTs. And then at the top is where you're going to access your actual media. Now for video and image, this is just going to access your Photos app. If you go to import, this is going to access your Files app. So for me, I'm just going to hit video right here, and I'm going to see one of my latest Apple Log clips, imports it immediately, and I really enjoy this simple interface. So you have your video that you obviously can have playback, and here you can test out your different LUTs that you want to see, and you can stack them, which is cool. So that way you can actually do a proper LUT conversion as well as a creative LUT on top of that. That is something that, again, those basic kind of photo video editor apps can't do. So I'm going to remove this first one. And then as we scroll down, you'll see all of your other pretty traditional color grading tools. But again, I really like the interface that he has gone in and created. Below that, we got our primaries. So we can go in, adjust exposure, contrast, all this good stuff. Now under color grade, you actually have access to your wheels. And if I go under highlights, it's going to bring up the specific wheels over here for color grading that. And again, this is a very clean and simple way to have color grading wheels, especially on a small device like a phone. And then I'm really stoked to see things like bloom under stylize. As you can tell from videos like this, where I have, an opaline filter on, I like, bloom. It's got grain, but the thing to note of here is these are still images that basically are just overlays. So if we add this on top of here and I hit play, you'll see that the grain isn't moving, like it's not acting like it's on the image. It's basically just a static grain frame. So keep that in mind. Great for photos, not so much for videos. If you want to create a nice before and after slider, you can do that in real time. You can save this as a preset, which can be helpful if you're trying to use this in a bunch of your different clips. And then of course at the top we have our share, which is going to be our export. And you can export the current frame as a still, or you can export video, and it gives you a couple different options for resolution, codecs, things like that. Again, pretty basic, but incredibly useful. I've been using apps like Kino for basically the past year or whenever that came out to apply LUTs to it, and I've given this feedback directly to them. You can't actually make any adjustments to the image. You can import a LUT, add it on top of your Apple Log footage, but then if your exposure is not perfect, the white balance, all that good stuff isn't perfect, there's no way to really adjust it inside of that app, because it's also primarily meant as a filming app, not just a post-production one. So this one offers a completely free and simple solution to color grading your Apple Log footage. All right, so next I wanted to... Are you serious? Look at what I am dealing with all the time here. How many times I have to fix that stupid back? What is that? Alright, seriously, I was not expecting too much from this vacuum. I mean, we have 2 kids, 2 dogs, so we kind of always made peace with our floors always having something on them. This was the first vacuum that we've used that picks up everything. Dog hair, crumbs. Alright, hopefully this can be cleaned up. Even in this exaggerated test, the flour was no match for the hydrojet cleaning mechanism, the self-cleaning mop, and the dual water tank system of the E25, cleaning up the entire mess in just 2 passes. If you look at our previous vacuum, this is what it looked like after doing just a couple of runs around the house, caked on dog hair and crumbs. So we've used this system maybe 7 to 10 times at this point, and if you look at the bottom, you can see there's very minimal, really anything left over. I don't have to completely take these out, unlike my other vacuum. Because of the design of these, it filters all the dog hair to the center to get sucked up by the vacuum. The only problem is we have a 2-level home. Hello, darkness, my old friend. So sometimes she just needs a little help getting upstairs.
Start cleaning.
Not only does it automatically map out all of your different rooms and label them accurately, you can enable multi-floor mode and have it save all the different floors in your house. And unlike many other robot vacuums, this one has cameras and LiDAR on top to actually help see cables so it doesn't run them over. If you want to see all the other features that the eufy E25 has to offer and the great deal it is, check out the link in the description below, and shout out to eufy for sponsoring this video. All right, so now that the floor is all clean, let's jump into this secondary app. Now I mentioned before that it does have a price point to it, but it's actually totally free to download. It just does have some in-app purchases, which you may or may not need. So this could be another totally free app depending on what features you want. So this app is called Liit. Let's get it opened up here. So you're first greeted with your library here. And again, something that both of these apps have that I really missed from the Kino app is the ability to search by albums. Like, it's not, unless you've just shot a bunch of footage that you go in to grade, albums and favorites are usually how I go about finding things. And so being able to find a specific album that I want is incredibly useful. So again, I can scroll through. Maybe I'll pick this clip out for my Apple Log clip of choice. And so here you can go under templates, and you can of course create your own templates or presets, but you can also hit this, and it looks like they have a cool little library of templates that you can pick up. Like if I hit get, looks like it just adds it. So here we can see our first kind of flag towards the in-app purchase. If we go here again, so many apps nowadays have predatory pricing where it's like $6 a week or just a ridiculous amount of money for not many features. This one I think is totally fair. You can either pay 15 bucks one time, all future updates are going to be free, or $6 a year. And right now it's not going to give you too much. You can batch it up to 99 photos. We'll talk about that in a minute. Unlock all the borders and filters, or export your own LUT files. So if you're not looking to do any of those things, then let's see what you actually get for free. And let's go under filter. And again, this is where it's like a lot of apps, right? You get these filters, but they're not going to look good when you feed it log footage right off the bat. So what we want to do is go under imported, and this is where, just like anything else, you can import your own cube files, and you can do this from files or airdrop them over. Wherever you get them from, you would just hit import, and it's going to bring up your files app here. Now I've already imported this one. Specifically, it's actually from 𝗧𝗧𝗏, the guy I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Really awesome LUT to have. And so this is an excellent starting point. So I'm going to hit yes. And you'll notice this little layer icon in the bottom right has now added a layer. So we have our filter, but now we can go under and adjust like anything else, right? We can go under lightness. Now, personally, I still like the design of the other app a little bit better. This one feels so much like the CapCut type things. And even though it has the same controls, how can I word this? For example, like lightness. This is essentially just a brightness slider, Whereas in video editing apps like DaVinci Resolve and the first app, there was a difference between exposure and brightness, and really being able to fine tune those, I think, is really helpful. So you can make any adjustments there, and I do really like the effects. Unlike the first app, this grain actually is some sort of repeating video file on top of the layer. So it does mimic actual grain that you can kind of see has movement and isn't just a still image placed on top. So that's really nice to see. And of course, you can adjust the strength depending on your liking. You can add vignettes, you can add halation, and with all of these, you can make pretty decent amount of adjustments. So like that looks pretty insane right there. But if I dial it back a bit, maybe you like something like that. And you can even crop or adjust the aspect ratio of your video file in here as well. And then once you're all done, you can go in, hit save, and you can go in, adjust resolution, codecs. We saw similar things in the past app as well. The biggest standout feature difference that I do love of this app compared to the other one is the ability to do multiple clips in a batch edit. And this is extremely helpful because, of course, a lot of us are filming in the same area. Maybe I'm doing a YouTube video, got B-roll. Of course, I shot a lot of the eufy robot vacuum footage with my phone. So whereas the other one, I could go in, make adjustments, save it as a preset, and then just use that preset on each app, I'm going to have to import, export, edit, export, like do that whole process for each clip. If I go back to library here, what I'm going to do is hit batch in the bottom middle, and this essentially is going to turn into a selection tool. So now I can select all these different B-roll clips of the vacuum that I got 5 right there. And now when I hit next, now if I go through and I make a grade, go in here, maybe make it a little bit warmer even, vignette a little bit. Now if I click the thumbnail to the left of the play pause button right here, we'll actually see all of the different clips. And as I tap on them, you can see that they all have the same edits applied to it. And what's cool is I can go into any of these and I can now unlink them, and I can go into this one, and let's just say this one needed brightening up a little bit more and a little bit more contrast. Then that's not going to affect all the other ones, and I can make minor adjustments for each of these. And now when I go to save, I can do save all, and it's going to export all of those clips in a batch export. This will save a ton of time compared to like fully transferring these to DaVinci Resolve, or maybe you just want to keep all your editing on your phone. Now you can launch this into any editing app of point. Now you can take these clips, put them in whatever editing app of choice for your social, the new Instagram Edits app, CapCut, whatever your choice is. Honestly, I'm just so stoked to finally have some creative solutions for working with Apple log footage right on the phone without always having to interface with DaVinci Resolve on the computer. If I'm doing bigger projects, yes, I'm still going to plug in my phone, transfer the footage, and work with the Apple log footage alongside my bigger cameras. But a lot of times when I'm just doing reels or taking family video that I just want to send out real quick, apps like this are perfect. And the fact that both of these are essentially free, one of them just with some in-app purchases that I don't necessarily need, even better. What features would you like to see added to either of these apps? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.